ChristianWorks for Children is a variety of ministries for the Lord. We have Adoption Works, Counseling Works, Grief Works, Kid Works, Breakaway Curriculum, and Care Works.
We had been married for maybe 3 years and had one son, and we were living in Portland, Oregon at the time. Randomly one day felt like God said, I want you to adopt a little girl, and I want you to give her the name Banner.
We assumed that our family was complete. Then along came the desire to adopt.
And so she finally came to me and said, I think this is something that we're being called to, and I want you to pray about it. So I prayed about it, but it kept coming back that, you're not done.
I was your typical businessman. We had the kind of the American dream, but I felt God say a couple of simple words, I need more.
So I think God began to stretch us. We had no idea that this was where He was going to stretch us to.
Through the Adoption Works ministry this year, we've launched a post-placement support groups for adopted children and adopted families to help them through the journey of adoption. Many people think that perhaps adoption, once it's finalized, it's over. Really, it's the beginning of a lifelong journey.
And for so many of our families, because of grief and trauma, and then what happens when you integrate birth family and adoptive families, how does that look? So it's been exciting how God has opened up these doors to be able to do that. But He's also bringing some amazing families to our doorstep.
It really was just a matter of looking at a map, praying God which you were us to adopt from, and feeling led to the nation of Zambia.
Once we brought Banner home, then we became a family of 5, with 3 kids, all within 2 years of each other. And so I think the more that we got into it, the more we realized, okay, we really don't know what we're doing. And this is a really big deal. Like, she's been through so much that at such a young age that most kids never go through, and realized pretty quickly, okay, we need some help.
We knew that there would be other parents that could identify with what we'd experienced. We just didn't know how to get to them. So when we found out about Adoption Works, it was huge for us.
Julie called me at work one day, and she said, I found our little boy.
Well, sometimes I struggle that my foster parents didn't have enough money to take care of me, which wasn't true. They needed to move me on because they knew I'd have a better life.
Right, there's a loss there. They've had a loss that they just don't know what to do with as they mature, and you're going to have to. Adoption Works is something that allows us to deal with that loss.
Once those thoughts and emotions came out, then they were very prepared to help him deal with that, to help us know how to deal with it.
The opportunities for Christian Works for Children, really because of the uniqueness of some of the things that we do, are quite unlimited. This year was our 6th year for Camp Aaron, Dallas-Fort Worth. It fits so well with our Grief Works ministry, which is the ongoing ministry for kids grieving the death of a loved one. Each year we hold a picnic for the families that attend Grief Works. This year we celebrated the 15th anniversary of Grief Works. Kid Works is a ministry for children dealing with the death of the marriage of their mom and dad through divorce. We developed our curriculum and a facilitator training manual and a training guide called Breakaway, available for churches to use and other Christian counseling centers to use to help the million-plus children that go through the divorce of their mom and dad each and every year across our country. And internationally across the globe, we have Care Works, and Care Works is a ministry that reaches out to children in undeveloped and underdeveloped countries. Many of these children have needs that you would find here in the United States, but have no access to trained professional help.
I think the fact that ChristianWorks has taken interest in this global effort to send out counselors is amazing. I think a lot of times physical health is seen first and mental health kind of takes the back burner, but mental health affects every aspect of the person.
We came with the idea that we would be here for 2 years and we would see what the Lord had after that. But almost immediately, we began to see a need for education.
And so now we've focused all of our efforts into educating the children here.
So I love the fact that ChristianWorks was willing to think outside the box, first of all, to send counselors.
So the counselors are able to come in and in a professional manner get to the root of some of these problems within a time frame that Laura and I, it would take months and months and months to accomplish.
So many of our families come and they feel hopeless. They feel I'm all alone. I feel isolated. Whatever the Lord brings to us, it must edify, it must glorify, it's got to elevate. And if we create that space, whether that's adoption or whether that's in divorce or children who have suffered the loss of a loved one, then we've done our job.
I think the biggest thing for Banner is for her to understand that she's not alone. But if it wasn't for ChristianWorks, we wouldn't have ever gotten there.
When I felt like God said, I want you to adopt a little girl and name her Banner, the first thought that came to mind was, God, why do you want her to be named Banner? And he immediately reminded me of the verse in Song of Solomon that says, his banner over me is love. And so that's kind of like a mark of who she is, a picture of God's love kind of covering her, and her being a representation of his love to other people.
Well, ChristianWorks is about very kind people helping us go through the stages of life being adopted, and that's helped me so far every week.
I mean, even on the second week of going to the small group, he was excited to go, Oh, yay, today's Wednesday, we're going to ChristianWorks.
It's important to have ChristianWorks in your life if you're as an adoptive family, because what happened to you as a child isn't the end of your story. It was just the beginning. There's so much more that God's got in store for you.
Bueno, la primera vez que yo escuché que aquí había fundado una escuela cristiana y que da alimento, todo desayuno, almuerzo, y yo quise estudiar aquí y me gustó bastante, y cuando vi de lejos me gustó.
Yo quiero hacer muchas cosas como abogado, doctor, maestro en ciencias naturales, maestro de Biblia, de inglés y ser astronauta.
I just feel like I see Jesus all the time here. He's at my front gate.
Whenever I have doubt, God gives me some little boost in some other area.
And for a Christian organization to come alongside another nonprofit, that is no small task. So we are extremely grateful for ChristianWorks.
And they have lifted this ministry up immensely and have made a massive difference to our children here as well as the ministry as a whole.
Vida Abundante es un colegio cristiano y es un amor que nunca nadie lo puede quitárselo. Tiene ese amor que cuando una persona o un niño o un alumno vienen aquí en el colegio, lo atienden bien.
If you feel called to participate with us in the Lord's ministry, the avenues to do that are through volunteering or providing financial resources and being an advocate for what we do, letting people know that the Lord's working through ChristianWorks for Children.